This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutation, viewers. Vauldemare back here with the finale of The Evil Within. In the last episode, we finished exploring most of the hospital mental ward as we fought off beasts and baddies of all types. Fought two of those, like, safe head dudes at once and was able to get by, but without a scratch on us. We have improved our skills over the course of this thing. It's time to show Rujik, or Ruvik, however you pronounce it, the power of Sebastian Castellanos and his I guess, aggressiveness to get out of this place. Will we be able to find Kidman, Joseph, or Leslie on the way? Who knows, but we're getting out of this hell's hell. Rujik, I'm reaching the top! Wait out for me! Hopefully we'll be able to get some... I mean, we've gotten bits and pieces of answers, but I hope we kind of get... I wouldn't say the exposition done, but I hope we at least get a general idea of, like... Well, I can assume... Oh. Ooh, that was kind of cool.
If I make it out alive, I'm never riding in an elevator again.
Yeah. Well, alright. Yeah, we're going up to the tippy top of the hospital where we're going to encounter Rujik. It's going to be epic, I tell you. Epic! So, there's got... I wonder, are we actually going to have a boss fight with Rujik? I don't know. Most thriller games don't usually have... maybe except Resident Evil, but... Shh. There it is. Big old... Whatever it is. Whatever that is. The machine or whatever. The machine god? God in the machine? Deus Ex? No? I wonder where Rujik is. Oh, hello. There are those little bat things, which apparently have something to do with... They're probably we're probably inside those bat things that are connected to the device. That's how we're in them. Because I still think we're in something, like a device or something, or some type of mechanism. That's why we're in Rujik's mind. Because I don't believe the whole idea that he just pronounced his abilities onto the world. Like, or it's like through some type of mechanical thing that this makes this happen. So, I guess there's nothing else to do but to go to the center, I guess. Uh-oh.
It can't be.
Oh, that's me. I knew we are stuck in some type of device of some sort. Leslie.
Sebastian, get away from him. Sebastian, listen to me. Stop. Your interests are the same as ours.
Look, I get it. You're not just some rookie detective, and this is not just some ordinary kid. You killed Joseph and you shot me. So right at this moment, that's enough reason for me not to trust you.
You're a good man. That's why Doesn't matter anymore. If you know who this kid is, if you know anything, you know why he can't be allowed to live.
Bullshit. It's Ruvik. He's the one that... Leslie, stop! Leslie!
Alright, looks like Ruvik has gone, all Final Fantasy boss, and we're dead. Well, I was trying to get out of the way. What a way to ruin the tense scene game. Like, I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be I don't know. It definitely ruins the moment when you're like, alright, let's begin, and we die. It's like, oh. I tried running out of the way, I did, but wasn't fast enough for a Final Fantasy boss there. That's pretty much what happened. I mean, that's what he turned into. I guess Joseph is dead, and Leslie is dead too. I guess he turned into like liquid goo, so I don't know. I guess he did. I assume Leslie's dead too, and then Kidman is apparently working for an organization that wants to stop Ruvik, but she wants to. She's obviously the whole means the end, like kill him. And that'll stop it all, but Sebastian didn't want to, but too late. Leslie's dead, so that's it. I guess we just need to keep running. I don't know, are we actually going to fight Ruvik, or is this just more of a, no! I'm dead again. Well, I couldn't see if the rocks were, man, we get punched. Sebastian's like, I don't like being revived over and over again. Yeah, I could barely see it with the rocks. I couldn't tell if that was what it was unlocked, and well, nope, not for me. Man, just kind of throws it all out there. Leslie dying. Apparently Joseph just died, even though after that he got shot, Sebastian goes, oh, I hope you're alive. And apparently he's dead. That's just it. Seems kind of anticlimactic for Joseph for some reason. I mean, he did try to save Leslie and help Sebastian, and they just get shot. And I know thrillers don't have, or horror movies don't really have, like, Hollywood ending type of, like conclusions to them, because that makes it, that's supposed to be that type of storyplay, but... You can tell this is not in, like, reality, because otherwise Sebastian would have died from, like, all the damage he'd been taking over the course of the, this scene right here, in general. So can we literally shoot him in the, shoot him away or die? I guess we're gonna find out. Apparently the game has to point out, like when I need to shoot things, Which is fine, I guess, just... better, take a quick break. Okay. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Get in there. Oh, come on! I was trying to get it. It was just being too wavy. I'm dying. Well, it is the finale. I guess you're expected to die, but... I should have known that this game wasn't going to have a use all your weapons to fight him type of boss. Oh, well. I guess that's what that monster rush was at the right before we fought the two, I guess, safe heads or whatever they're called. But oh well. What can you do? That's the way they wanted to go with the game, so can't complain. Not really. I mean, that's where they wanted to go with it. Just have to focus, that's all. Yeah, just keep busting down his skull cap. Yeah, as long as you don't have a super sensitive controller, you should be fine, I guess. Yeah, you're going down, Ruvik, whatever. I don't know why I keep saying Ruvik. It's Ruvik, right? It's R-E-V or R-U-V, I-C-I-K. Not J. Well, if you're don't getting shot, yeah, I was about to say, just destroy the car. Okay, we're dead. So that's how it ends, huh? Well, Joel from Last of Us survived that, so why can't we? Oh! Hello, darkness, my old friend. We've come to talk again. Get it, get the RPG. We need it. Thank you. Smile for me, you son of a bitch. Oh, is that not... Oh, man, come on. Stop him. Yeah, smile for me. Smile wide. Hopefully we can beat them before the... Oh, no. Oh! Okay, now we gotta hit him in the brain cap. Nuts. Okay, no, one more time. One more time. We can do this. Oh, what? How is, like... Nuts. How's Sebastian able to do this with, like, a garter through his, like... Okay. Right there. That should be it. Yeah! Is that it? Are we done? Oh, I may have wasted too many of these. Okay, that's got to be the finale right there, right? He better be dead. Yeah! Now we're having our final confrontation. This brain game is at an end, my friend. Take this! Did I die? Oh, no, we did it. Yay! Let's watch the end of the game, folks. Oh, I guess we could check that out real quick just to defeat the ultimate evil within. Alright, sorry. Well, I guess we're not out of this woods just yet. One more thing to do.
I created this world. You cannot keep me here. Ruvik.
Fine, we don't have to keep you here. Just gotta do one thing.
I'm going to finish this.
And one thing alone. A mind is a terrible thing to waste! I've always wanted to do this. Gotta crush your brain under the heel of my boot.
Vital signs, sir.
Leave that one. And those two. They're not going anywhere. No one can.
Go, go, go! Detective, are you all right? Is there anyone else?
Just give me some real fresh air.
And let us watch the credit rolls as Sebastian leaves the hospital. Well, it looks like we were in a machine the whole time. Oh, Shinji Mikami, the famous director of like Resident Evil and other such games. Nice to see you there. But yeah, it looks like the whole time we were hooked up to this machine. Now the question is, how did we get there in the first place? Because at the beginning of the game, we weren't in that machine. I think it has something to do with who Kidman was working for. Because you saw in that last scene where Kidman tells us to pretend to be asleep, we saw Tatiana there, or her real-life counterpart, Kidman, and then I think there was a doctor we kind of saw in the background. But yeah, all the people who died in the game were all hooked up to the tube. The only one we didn't see a tube of was Joseph for some reason, despite the fact they said he died. And then Leslie walked out, and I assume what happens, we're still in the real world, but now that Ruvik, I think Ruvik went inside Leslie's body. Like, we were able to break out of the machine, but Ruvik is still alive in Leslie, so he's running around, and yet the game ends on basically a cliffhanger ending because of Leslie getting away. So when I first played this game, I was aware that it was probably only a single game because I don't remember it selling that well. Well, apparently, by the time of this recording, they are working on a sequel to it called Evil Within 2. So I guess it makes sense because this game had a lot of questions that weren't left answered, like the whole information about like what his wife found. What did she find? I mean, Sebastian doesn't tell us everything, so it probably had something to do with the hospital. But we still didn't take out those people at the hospital because it looked like there was two groups working there. There was whoever Tatiana and Kidman were working for, and then there was Ruvik and the good doctor who you saw at that ending. He was killed. He and that fellow police officer that went with us, he died too because he fell prey to Ruvik or whatever happened in the game. So yeah, that was the Evil Within. So it'll be interesting to see what the sequel, what story the sequel tells. Like, are they gonna do like a Resident Evil thing and have this big nationwide conspiracy? Are we gonna still go through a mind thing again, or is the mind thing gonna happen in the real world because Ruvik's now around? Or there's probably other people who can do that too. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But all right, let's start reviewing the game, shall we? So, initial concept for the game. I like the concept of the game, the idea that when we find out later on, it's all inside your head. You know, because the good thing about doing something inside your head is that there's all this like stuff you can do with like different areas, atmosphere, stuff like that. Because the mind can be just, who knows what the mind can think of, whether it be dreams or whatnot. So that. And it's true, the game did give us, at multiple occasions, gave us a new setting almost every chapter. We are in a new place. It was dark and dank most of the time, but we were still in a new setting every episode, or every new chapter. The game gave us gameplay-wise, the game gave us a lot of different weapons to try. You know, you had your classics, your pistol, shotgun, sniper rifle, but then with the addition of Agony crossbow, you had a few more options, which in the long run, that's probably the best weapon of the game if you have the parts for it, which is probably, that's why you only get parts to make it for most of the ammo most of the time. But yeah, by the end of the game, I was just spanning freaking explosion bolts, especially on the final bosses of the game. Too bad we didn't really have a major, I mean, we did have an encounter with Ruvik, but I kind of almost wanted a classic encounter where we used our weapons and avoided encounters and stuff like that to fight Ruvik, but I guess the game didn't really set up for that. There's the classic music there. We'll probably figure out what the song is later on. So gameplay, for the most part, was solid. It's very Resident Evil-ish, you know, third person, behind the scene, or behind the back type of thing. That it worked for most scenes. There was a couple areas where I thought the camera was too close, but for the most part, it worked. Yeah, a good variety of weapons. Who played Sebastian? Anson Mount. I don't know who that is. Jennifer Carpenter. Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal. Saw him. Liam O'Brien. Yeah, I heard him. The rest of the names don't seem familiar. Okay, well, doesn't mean that they didn't do a good job. Oh yeah, the voice acting for the most part was solid. Graphically, the game's kind of a hit or miss with me graphically, at least on the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of the game, because it looked a little... Because, I mean, it looked good enough, and that's fine, but it looked like a little spots. It was kind of like a little bit slow, like, and this may be the Xbox version, even though I installed it, it looked a little off at places. But, I mean, overall, it still looked good. It'd be better than a lot of games around that time. And it did have a big company, Bethesda, publishing it, so... But yeah, it definitely had a lot of Resident Evil nods and homages to it, because, I mean, the guy who worked on this worked on that, too, so it makes sense. Especially that first scene in the first zombie in the movie, or the game, is when a Resident Evil homage, we played it earlier. A decent length of time. I heard this game is more of a 10-hour game, but I did make it last about almost 18 hours, so apologies for making it last as long. I did kind of take longer to explore or do stealth sections, probably longer than I should have, because I was afraid about running out of ammo or health, and I wanted to make sure I got everything I could. And then by the end of the game, it didn't matter as much, but still, I still stand behind me doing all that, despite it taking a long time to do it. This took me a long time to get through. I mean, like I said, it's about 18 hours, so... But yeah, you can do it in 5 if you know what you're doing. Probably easier if you do New Game Plus, but... story? I'm not sure what to say about the story. Games that have to deal with the mind, or a lot of Japanese stories, are kind of a hit or miss with me. Like, sometimes I find them interesting, and a lot of times I'm just like, alright, can we just get through it type of thing? So, I think it did a decent job, like, meting out the information to us to figure out what was going on. I pretty much... I had a pretty good idea that we were in some type of device at the beginning of the game without having played the game, because... You know, it seemed like this game was trying to be in a realistic world with just that type of horror setting, so... I mean, obviously you can forgive stuff, like zombies and all that, but, you know... And finding information through the backlogs tells you, like, who got kidnapped and what was going on with this organization and Ruvik behind the scenes, so you know who was being kidnapped. And I assume his wife was also one of the kidnappers and got kidnapped, and maybe she got killed. It's hard to say. We didn't see it on screen. I assume in the sequel, we're probably gonna actually see what happened to her. Either she died or whatever. Because I feel like she's either been captured or killed, and we didn't see either one. And I feel like that's something we'd have to see or find out about for sure, and we don't. So yeah, I think the sequel might talk about that. So yeah, I think the story was fine. I think it did what it needed to do. I think the game got a little too long almost. I think maybe it's because of how long it took, but it did get a little repetitious for me. It did take a while for that to happen, like I said, with all the different areas and encounters, so it wasn't too bad. Music, I think the music was okay for the most part. No major tunes really stand out to me. The only tune that stands out is the classical music that plays right now, and is not original to this game. So, you know, the music is fine. It did what it needed to do to keep the scene. So I'm not knocking it. It's just, you know, nothing that really stands out to me. Then again, horror music doesn't have crazy sounds or crazy music to it. A lot of it is ambiance and just, you know, atmospheric music. So it did what it needed to do, I think. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Oh, characters. I guess I wish we had more characters or more interaction with characters, because Sebastian, for the most part, I don't know. I would say he's uninteresting, but I don't think he's not interesting enough to like to root for him, or well, I don't know if root for him is the word. I like to keep playing as him, because we never get enough of like what he's thinking or feeling, other than the log notes when you pick up like the detective journals or whatever it is. So I guess that's the point, but I don't know. I felt like I wished I had had more interaction from Sebastian as a character throughout the game, whether through mental, like just thinkings or ramblings or reactions to certain things. Because a lot of times he acted just like an action hero type of thinking. So I don't know. And the other characters were fine too, like Joseph and Kidman. Kidman, despite the twist of Kidman being a, let's see what we get for our last two achievements. Survival difficulty and casual. Yeah, Kidman's not in the game enough to like figure out her personality. I think they were going with an Ada Wong-ish type of character without being the sassy sexual hero, you know, but she works for the organization, taking things out, cold and calculating, but she has an Ada Wong feeling without the sexualness about her. I actually kind of like Joseph for the most part, but he wasn't in the game enough, and the fact that he kind of just, I don't know if he's truly dead. They said he died, but I feel like maybe he might make an appearance in the sequel. I could be wrong. He might just be dead. If he is, I mean, that's just how it is. But, I mean, he gets shot, and then there's so many things about, like, oh, maybe he's dead. Because he got shot in the shoulder, right? Again, it looked like, by Kidman. And I don't know. I think if he's dead, then Kidman shouldn't get away, even despite what she's doing, because she did shoot him. Anyway, when we beat the game, we get clear bones, so now we can play New Game Plus. So we get the machine gun, and we get the rocket launcher. This is how you can actually beat some of those bosses that we couldn't beat before, like Laura and the Sentinel, and I forgot there was a couple other dudes we couldn't fight easily. But yeah, now we can do it with these, and there's actually achievements you get for, we also get 50,000. So I guess you do reset your goop for the most part, except for a couple of upgrades, but you get some more for playing New Game Plus. So, gives you a point there. Yeah, New Game Plus, and we can view models now. Can now choose a different difficulty when it's New Game Plus, so you can now choose casual if you want to unlock all those challenges or achievements that you want to do, because very few of them are actually done by difficulty, except for survival, or except for hard mode or Akuma mode. Number of deaths. I died 60 times in this game. Huh. That sounds about right, I guess. I did die quite a bit, especially at stupid bits. In 18 hours, man, that was a long time. But, well, I think that's it, really, for the most part. Overall, and I did get frustrated a lot at this game, I'll admit. Probably because of what I expected from the setting, I got more frustrated at this game than I probably should have gotten. So I don't know if I can blame the game or my personality for that. So it's hard to give it a knock for that. Because overall, it was an interesting experience, and I'm glad I played it for the most part. There is more content for this game. There is 2 DLC packs. One of them you play as Kidman, and you find out more about what's going on here. I forgot what the second pack who you play as. I think you still play as Kidman, I think. But unfortunately, for the most part, I really don't feel like I'm not going to do the DLC. I thought about it, and I was like, I think I got what I needed out of the game. Yeah, playing as Kidman would probably fill in some of the gaps, but I think I got what I wanted out of the main game experience. But if you want to, the DLC is available, or if you get the... I think there's a PS4 and Xbox 360, or Xbox One version, which has all that attached to it if you want to play it again. I think they're re-releasing it because the sequel was just announced, at least at the time of this recording, was recently mentioned and announced, so we'll see what happens in the sequel there. So... other than that, I thought it was a fun game for the most part. It definitely has replay value. I'm not going to keep the game, but I would actually probably keep this. Mainly because of New Game Plus mode, so you can play through it again, or if you get the DLC, or playing at harder difficulties and getting all the achievements. So my verdict is keep it, especially for the value you get it. If I had to give this game a review, I'd probably give it a 7. I think it's a solid 7. For the most part, I would give it lower because of my frustrations, but I don't want to be mean to it. So I think it's a good game. I think it's a fun game. It's 7. So, all right, folks. Well, next time we'll wait for the mail to come in, and the next game will be played, and hopefully it'll be a happier experience than this, like a survival horror fest. So see you next time when the mail comes in, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.